Nothing.
You turn around to people and said,
"Hey,
we're fucking brilliant. You'll either listen to us or fuck off."
And their attitude was, "Oh, fuck that, come on." And that were right at the time because there wasn't anything.
I think a lot of young people had accepted conservative rule and dole culture and daytime telly and smoking spliff for a living and going to the odd football match as that was it. You know, I think Britain was dead in the 80s.
Terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely
Synthetic
terrible.
Fucking rubbish.
That was when I was growing up in the 80s, like, and it was, what the fuck's this all about?
I think it was with Ecstasy, really. I think that it was the new posh designer drug, you know, and once it was very exciting when it first happened, you know, going to the Hacienda and literally listening to this music, which was fucking unspeakably rubbish. And then you had an E, and it was like listening to fucking classical music.
We get all over like doing it, you know, travel about and it's top, better than working, innit? You know, that's the way I look at it.
Does everybody know that we're doing an Oasis tribute band? Or are you just going to tell them how good it is?
Who?
You. I said, tell us about your tribute band. Oh, it's top. It's
Well,
great,
go on,
it's
then.
great.
Well, go on, I'll leave
It's
it
an
to you,
Oasis
then.
tribute band called Wonderwall. And it's good, I'll go there now. Yeah, it's good. Carry on, Dean.
No, you're alright, you carry on, man.
Self-indulgence, you
Don't
see.
fucking interrupt me again.
I'm just lucky to have the part of Noel, because he finds it much easier to act like a twat.
But that's no easy way out. The days we could just too fast for me.
It was a decade of festivals.
People just didn't give a fuck, you know. Rock and roll star,
Cocaine Cure.
Live Forever, cigarettes and alcohol. They're probably the three songs that sum up the 90s.
Drugs, a lot of fun. Ambition.
I don't think really anyone was thinking about the consequences.
That's more my thing. I like to watch.
It was a sunny day, the sunshine looked day-glow because of all the chemicals in the air. There were thousands and thousands of teenagers there, and I'd never seen so many kids smoking so much dope and taking so many drugs. People were really, really stoned on weed and also on ecstasy as well, so it was a very sort of return of the 60s hallucinogenic type crowd.
It was a shit gig, but it was a fantastic. You know, from a technical point of view, the wind was blowing the sound all over the fucking place. I don't think I got to hear one of the songs properly, but that wasn't the point. The point was there was all them people there. Spike Island was the blueprint for my group. We were then going to become the biggest band in the world, and the Stone Roses, their impact and that gig stretches so far beyond the gig itself and the music. You know, the Stone Roses need never have played a note at that gig. the job's already done when the people are there, do you know what I mean?
Spike Island was a good feeling. It was this feeling of space, it was a feeling of freedom after having been locked up by 11 years of a Conservative government.
Scotland Yard inquiry gets underway. Senior officers have already said there was evidence of anarchists.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're leaving Downing Street for the last time after 11 and a half wonderful years, and we're very happy that we leave the United Kingdom in a very, very much better state than when we came here 11 and a half years ago.
When we were making Blue Lines, it was the beginning of that, the post-Thatcher thing. It was the beginning of the self, you know. It was all about self and nothing about community at all. I never felt it like British, you know. I mean, everyone involved in making those records came from totally different sort of ethnic backgrounds, you know. Jamaican, Barbadian, half Italian for me, you know, English. There was never this kind of British feel to it. It always struck me about most British music, in hip-hop and rock, there was this kind of a weird lean towards Americanism in everyone's accents and their voices. And we never had the urge to do that. We always wanted to sound ourselves. And it wasn't the urge to sound British or sort of like a sort of twee or kind of like, you know, it's just trying to be ourselves, trying to use references that meant something to us, that people would get, you know, pick up on.
Well, what happened after Spike Island is that the Stone Roses completely fucked it up. The Roses were the group who were going to break through and make it, and they didn't, because they lost their nerve. And so there was a hole there within that particular aspect of pop rock culture, and that was very quickly filled by Nirvana and what became known as grunge.
Load up on drugs, kill your friends, it's fun to lose to the she's overjoyed, self-assured,
Nirvana were incredibly forceful and incredibly powerful, and one of the greatest rock groups of all time. The pendulum went back to America. There's always this tick-tock thing between the US and the UK. Within the UK, the US often does not give a toss about the UK. So within the UK, you suddenly had this grunge invasion, and actually the only decent group really were Nirvana.
Were just starting to dominate the music industry in this country, rather like they are now. And you know, Nirvana and Pearl Jam and bands like that were just sort of like cleaning up everywhere. And I think it was a groundswell of movement between, well, certainly I liked English music, so I started representing a lot of English bands. Blur started drinking here, and Morrissey lived around here at the time, and he used to come in here as well. Pulp and Jarvis used to come and drink here, and Sway did their interviews here. Menswear formed in here, and Elastica signed their deal in here, famously on a Matchbox about. So yeah, it was a lot